Welcome to the TFO podcast, where guests get to give their thoughts, feelings, and opinions on a variety of subjects. This podcast is hosted by your very own Stacy Cook, and as always, sponsored by Fool's Guide Life Coaching. Follow me on all social media platforms. So give it up for our guest today. Yeah. Is there any movie that comes to mind that you saw like in your childhood or even up to this point that says, this is kind of what I think the future of AI? I mean, I remember seeing Blade Runner and some of these other shows where like, that's,
Yeah, a little wacky.
Yeah. But now you look at them, it's like, hey, we're a lot closer to that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you look at some of the sci-fi movies that are really futuristic, like, actually, The Fifth Element's one of my favorite movies.
Mine too.
And you see all the, you see all the cars in the sky. That's going to take some physics breakthrough that we don't, that we don't have now. Just the energy to have anti-gravity or whatever's making those cars float through the air, right? But when you look at a movie like The Fifth Element, you look at all those cars, and they're all in this perfect dance,
Yes.
Like they're all going through sky lanes, they're all perfectly coordinated, they're all flowing right where they need to go. That's the kind of thing I think about is like the types of things that technology is going to enable.
Yeah.
If society lets it. That's going to be the humans are going to be the problem.
So what about we have all these first world problems. We got problems with stoplights and all this other stuff, but you look at places like Africa or India or some of these other places that
technology is not democratized.
Right.
It is not democratized at all.
Yeah.
I think Africa, you're going to start to see more money flow in because of the natural resources that are there that power some of the technological revolution we're talking about. Unfortunately, right now it's being done in an absolutely horrible way. You see these cobalt mines with little kids digging stuff out of the ground at their own peril. 12 hours, 16 hours a day.
Right. Yeah, that's not good.
Total exploitation. It's not democratized, and I don't think it's going to be democratized until something big happens, changes in society, not the technology.
Right.
And when I say something big, I mean like revolutionary.
Like the one king of all?
Well, I don't even know about that, but just I think you're going to have an uprising eventually of the average person because they're going to get tired of giant corporations controlling everything.
Yeah.
They're going to say, well, you're not a government, you're not our elected officials, but you're still controlling everything through money.
There's big companies that do that now. I mean, look at Walmart. There's people that don't want to go there every day, but in the end,
it's the rational choice for them.
It is, whether they like it or not. And now Walmart has you basically working there if you go there because you have no option. You will check yourself out. That is just kind of how it works. I don't like it because I have a job and I don't want to do that job.
Yeah, you don't want to do their job.
I don't want to do that.
Now, but would you do it if you're taking your card out of the store and you drive through some hoop and it checks beep 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 beep, everything checks and it charges your credit card and you walk to your car?
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I know Apple has a store, right?
Yeah, if you take the friction out of it to where it's no extra effort for people, they'll love it. Even just like brick and mortar stores may become not necessary at some point. I mean, look at how much market share Amazon has taken in retail, especially through the COVID years.
Yeah.
Like their share of what's being sold in retail went up radically in a 3-year span. And everybody said, this is pretty good. I can just order everything from my house and it shows up at my door.
Yeah.
Even groceries, right? I mean, if you're out in the country like I am, all that stuff's harder and you can't order everything. But for anybody that's anywhere within shot of any kind of urban area, you really don't have much of a reason to go to a store if you don't want to.
It's hard. Like we used to love shopping, like clothes shopping. So we get in the car and drive. This store, they don't have anything. This store, they don't have anything. You do 5 or 6 stores. You go home and get on Amazon. It's like,
click.
That shirt that I wanted, they have it in the right size right here.
And they'll even ship it to you for free, give you the item for free to try on.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't fit, you send it back, you're out zero money.
You don't even need the bag or the box to take it back. You just take it back in with a little tag on your phone.
And they throw it in a giant box and send it back to Amazon, and they really have revolutionized retail if you look at what they've done.
And
you see it in like the Black Friday shopping over the last few years, where it was mostly brick and mortar, and then it's 50-50 online, and now Cyber Monday, or whatever, Cyber Week has really taken over some of these things.
And Walmart is chasing them. Like Walmart is now the second largest online retailer because they've stolen some people from Amazon to figure out, oh, how did they do it? Okay, let's duplicate that business model and do it better.
Yeah.
You know, in some cases. And so now they're chasing that. So, you know, their brick and mortar stores are going to start to go away. What's one of the biggest problems they're facing right now? Theft.
Oh, for sure.
You're not going to steal anything from an online store.
You know, and Walmart's theft problems are part of them trying to be more efficient. So if you let me check out my own groceries, then
people are going to steal stuff.
People are going to steal.
Yeah, so you just made it easier for them to steal stuff.
So you put one person over there and say monitor them all, and you put a TV camera or something on there, and people have easily figured out that everything's a banana.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
Like 39 cents, 39 cents, 39 cents. That's kind of how that works.
I never heard that one before. That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
everything's
a banana.
I'm gonna have to use that now.
So let me ask you this. When I think about self-driving cars, I'm like, all right, what technology do I trust today that would let me go to sleep in a car? Wi-Fi? No. Bluetooth? Negative. Internet? No. Like there's just so many connectivity issues with GPS even. Like I've been in New York or in Chicago, and like you have nothing.
Yeah.
If you're in the city. So
like what breakthroughs are necessary?
Yeah, what do we need to do to make that happen?
So Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, not a concern. They don't use it. I mean, for the self-driving capabilities. GPS, definitely a concern.
Right.
In urban areas, like out here where we live, you can get centimeter accurate GPS now with some of the technology that's coming out. But the technology they're baking into the cars almost make it truly an autonomous thing. Like a Tesla doesn't necessarily need GPS to get around. So it needs GPS maybe to locate itself initially, but the computer vision that it's using is what it's using for navigation. So if it's already got the map and it knows that it went, 20 miles this way and it made a turn and it went 20 miles this way or whatever, it can actually still track its position where it is on the map without GPS. But GPS is good enough that it's going to give it periodic updates at least, even in a tough area, like a tough urban area or something. I think the breakthroughs or the hardware that's needed is already there. Now it's just a matter of software. I mean, I think it's a lot harder problem to crack than Elon Musk would have you think. Like, he was telling us 10 years ago, in 5 years we'll have this, no one will drive any of our cars. They'll be fully autonomous. That didn't happen, as with many of his promises.
He's working on them.
He is, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a Elon Musk hater. I think he has a couple of very singular visions of what he wants to do, and he's very good at getting people to follow that and try to support him and attracting really good talent and all that kind of stuff. He can do it, but he overpromises, right?
Well, that keeps people engaged and energized about some of the things.
It does until the fifth, sixth promise fails, and then everybody's like, oh, whatever. Maybe we'll see it in another 10 years. You know what I mean?
But then he'll do a big splash thing, like by Twitter or something to get everybody back on.
He keeps the public's imagination, involved in what he's doing. That's for sure. And I think he's just a really weird guy. I think he's brilliant. He's very unusual. Very unconventional in a good way, and in some bad ways. He flogs his people to death. You're going to work 100 hours a week if you work for me. I don't care who you are. Whatever. That's his mindset. And their turnover rate is huge. But the people that they keep are probably really, really good people.
Yeah,
and they're bought into that vision, right? And going the same way as where he's going. But anyway, back to the topic. I think the hardware is already there. We have enough compute power on a vehicle, especially like Tesla, that it could easily do what it needs to do. Now they're just refining their models. And where that comes through is all of their cars are data gatherers. They've got, I don't know how many vehicles on the roads in the US, but every one of those vehicles is capturing data as it drives. And every time someone interrupts the car to take control of the car, that's sending data to Tesla about, okay, why did they take control of the car? Was it just for convenience? Was it to make them get through an intersection a little faster? Was it a safety issue? Every time that happens, and it's thousands of times a day, the model is learning and getting tweaked and then downloaded back into the car.
That's neat.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long of doing that before you get to a point where the model is so perfect that it can handle, every scenario.
Right.
Better than a human. More so.
Well, no, I'm a pretty good driver.
Me too.
But not that good.
Yeah, no, I'm not that good. People will rebel that they don't get to drive their vehicle.
Of course. I mean, like, what's part of being alive is being able to do some of these things. If you literally just are not even able to do anything, it's like, what's the purpose behind that?
Yeah.
So,
I think, like the self-driving car thing. My commute, now that I've done it for 26 years, basically, not all from the same place, but similar distance, it is mind-numbing. I would much rather have the car do that for me. And then if I want to enjoy driving, I'll do it at some specific place and time I'm choosing, right? And maybe that's the way it'll end up. Like, if you want to actually have the driving experience, it's going to be on tracks, or it's going to be on specific roads, or it's going to be, whatever. But your average everyday driving is going to be done by the car. And most people probably are like, I don't need to drive, straight on a highway and worry about where I am for 30 minutes each way every day until I die.
Yeah, I think I'd be willing to bet that my car is fairly self-driving now on some of my commutes.
Yeah.
It's pretty much doing it by itself.
Yeah, exactly, right? You get into autopilot mode.
Oh my goodness.
How many times have you gotten in the car and you find yourself at home and you don't remember a single turn, you don't remember a single stop? I've done that.
Oh yeah.
And it's a little scary.
The scary part is in your mind, you need to go somewhere off of your path, but you don't. You just end up at home and you're like, I was supposed to go to the bank. Like, I did not go to the bank. How did I not do that? How did I forget that?
That's actually one way that I think the human mind is very similar to like the neural net models that they're building, right? Your mind basically did that on complete subconscious level because your mind was occupied with what am I going to do with my family when I get home, and what do I have going on this weekend, and what do I need to do at work tomorrow? And the body just does its thing really pretty safely, usually, for most people. But that's actually where it's a lot like these neural net models that they're trying to build. It's like baked into your neurons that, okay, here's the path I take, these are the turns I need to take, this is when I apply the brake.
Well, if it's as good a driver as me, I'm willing to do it because I find myself going here and there. So it'd be nice to have somebody do that a little bit better. So I have this like tainted view of the self-driving car thing right now because I have this Toyota Camry that's 2018.
I just got a Toyota.
Lane assist.
Does it have the lane centering? That's super annoying.
Yeah, it's lane centering. It does radar cruise control, which I like.
I love that.
I love the radar cruise control. That saved my bacon a few times.
It is awesome.
So that I do like, but the lane assist.
But if you compare that to what they've done in a Tesla, they're two totally different things.
Yeah.
That Tesla can literally drive you from door to door already, especially around here because our roads are not very congested and they're pretty simple. Urban areas are still a challenge where there's a lot of pedestrians and other cars and that kind of thing. They still are refining for that. But I've got a couple of friends in the technology industry that have like a more recent Tesla Model Y, and they say, I have to have my hand on the steering wheel, otherwise it yells at me, but I don't need to. Like every commute, it's perfect. Like it just drives me where I need to get. If I want to change lanes, I put on the turn signal, it goes around the next guy. The current models will find the fastest lane for you and auto change lane. Like it'll find the best traffic path and all that kind of stuff. But that's like light years. Toyota is way behind, in their it's not self-driving.
No, not at all. Yeah. But it does, like I said, the radar cruise control does help.
Yeah.
That's something that's pretty neat.
But most companies they're not pouring those dollars into that kind of technology. I think they're just waiting around until Tesla does it, and they're
And
going
they're
to
just gonna buy it, yeah.
license it from them. Why, why spend the money if they can just buy it from somebody else?
Especially if you're Toyota, you're basically in the lead now. You're just making money hand over fist today, so why would you?
I mean, look at Toyota's been very slow on battery electric vehicles.
Yep.
They're just kind of sitting back. They're very conservative. They just kind of sit back and wait to see where the market goes. Now they see the market going there. Oh, okay, we'll start to build some electric cars. Right? Maybe that's wise.
Probably. Whatever they're doing, they're winning right now when it comes to.
Oh yeah, you can't get a Toyota.
Yeah.
We waited 18 months to try to get a Sienna, one of the new hybrids that gets like 36 miles to the gallon. We got tired of waiting and then ended up buying this Highlander, which is not a hybrid because you can't get one of those either. So
Still a good car though.
oh yeah, we wanted to buy a Toyota because we have an older Toyota that we bought used, and it's got like 250,000 miles on it.
Still
Thing runs like a top, starts when it's 40 below.
Yeah.
They build quality, like better than anybody else.
And then you think about some of the Tesla pictures they show where they've got like wood underneath the hood. It's like those things worry me a bit.
That's the thing that is bad about Tesla is they're not a car company yet. Toyota's got whatever, 70, 80 years. I don't know how long they've been in business, but similar to the big three in the US. And they have refined the building of something on an assembly line down to such a science that they do it perfectly every time. Yes. And every person on that assembly line is bought into that vision of we're going to do it perfectly every time.
Could you see Tesla buying Toyota? Or merging with, and maybe not even Toyota, but one of these other ones like Hyundai or something?
I don't think so, because I think Musk holds the rest of the car industry in such low regard that he could not.
He couldn't do it.
No. I think he would just absolutely reject anything from any of the executives of the other companies because he believes their vision is not what his is. I think they're just totally misaligned.
Yeah. That's
just my opinion. I think he really looks down his nose at the rest of the car industry. Like, your products are terrible. Look at what we're building.
And when it works perfectly, he's going to be right.
Eventually.
It's just, will he even be here to see that through? I don't know.
And will he be able to get his assembly lines to close the panel gaps on his vehicles?
Oh, that's what you call those now when they're this big.
When you can stick your hand between the hood and the fender.
But it drives itself, damn it.